This video was recorded at the EA Sports FIFA 17 capture event. EA were kind enough to invite myself and a select few other YouTubers down to London to play an early access build of the game. As such, all of the player ratings aren't necessarily final, and they were also kind enough to cover all food and drink expenses for the day, so a massive thank you to them for that. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video though, and we'll jump into it right now. Hey guys, welcome to FIFA 17 Career Mode. Going to be starting a little mini-series here with Chelsea to start things off for the FIFA 17 year. Of course, this footage, as you saw from the intro, and you can see from the watermark on screen, is taken from the hashtag FIFA 17 capture event that EA were kind enough to invite me down to last week. So I managed to get a number of Career Mode videos recorded. I've also got some Ultimate Team and some player phases, etc. So over the course of the next week or so, there's going to be a huge amount of content coming to you on the channel, so do make sure you're subscribed. Drop this video a like as well if you're looking forward to seeing all of it. I've recorded a career mode episode every day for the next 6 or 7 days, and like I say, there'll be at least 2 uploads every day with other stuff coming too, maybe even 3 uploads a day as well. So do make sure you're subbed to make sure you don't miss out on any of that content. But as you can see, we're going to be starting with Chelsea here and moving forwards. As you might see in a normal career mode series that I'll start when the game fully drops, I'm going to be starting my first series for full career mode at Everton. I did announce that on Twitter about a week ago, and got rather good response as well, because I normally start with Chelsea, and this year I'm not, which is why I decided to use Chelsea for this little career mode preview. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and we're going to dive straight in here. As you can see, one of the criteria that the board want us to meet this year is they want £170 million worth of shirt sales. Obviously with career mode this year, they've fleshed out the board expectations. You have different criteria. You know exactly what you need to do, both domestically in the continental competitions with regards brand exposure, which goes hand in hand with the player shirt sales, etc., and of course youth development and the financial side of things. As you saw a little bit earlier on, all of the top 3, domestic success, continental success, and brand exposure, are all critical for Chelsea Football Club, with the finance not really being an issue whatsoever, and then obviously the youth development, is set to low. Finance there, as you can see in the bottom left, is actually very low. I had 0 financial expectations whatsoever. My overall objectives to start off with, though, are to win the Champions League. I have 3 seasons to achieve that, though. Don't need to do it first year. I physically can't do it first year because, of course, Chelsea aren't in the Champions League this year. So, as you can see, the youth development, I've got a couple of criteria to meet here. The top one's quite interesting, actually. I need to go out and sign a couple of players that are under 20 years of age that have the potential to grow to higher than the average rating of that specific position within my squad. So that's something I'm actually going to do in this opening transfer window here. Again, brand exposed, you can see the short term there is to raise £170 million worth of revenue from shirt sales, and you can keep tabs on that through the financial tab from the main menu. And you can see also a longer term aim at the club is to raise just over £300 million from prize money from tournaments. Now, obviously you get prize money from the pre-season tournaments, but in this particular build, I'm not sure whether it's going to be the case in the full release, but with the particular build of FIFA 17 we played at the EA headquarters last week, the money raised from pre-season tournaments actually didn't count towards that particular board expectation. So that's something to bear in mind. It's not necessarily as important to go for the massive prize money in pre-season if it's not going to count. However, like I say, full release, it may do. And if that is the case, then I'll be sure to tweet out, etc., and let you guys know, so that before you start your career mode, you can perhaps prioritise the more financially appealing pre-season tournament. I actually chose the most financially pre-season tournament, or most financially appealing pre-season tournament in this particular save. Went for the one that was £10.6 million. As you can see, having a quick look through the squad report in the background, if you do want to have a look at anyone's stats in more detail, then do feel free to pause the video at any point. Like I said in the intro, there aren't necessarily the final ratings here for FIFA 17 full release, but I would be quite surprised if anything was changed too drastically. So it's probably very accurate, maybe a slight alteration for full release, but I wouldn't expect too much. So because obviously this is a little preview career mode, I'm going to do my utmost to make a number of transfers maybe you know, get rid of players that I wouldn't necessarily get rid of if this were a full series, and maybe bring in players that I wouldn't necessarily look at if this were a full series. But because it's a preview, I want to get as much done as I possibly can. So as you saw there, a number of players on the transfer list. In fact, Loic Remy was loaned out by Chelsea in real life, but unfortunately, a handful of days after getting that loan deal to Palace, he injured himself and came back to Stamford Bridge for treatment. So that loan deal ended, but I'm going to try and sell him here. I'm also going to look to move on Cuadrado. At this point, I hadn't put him onto the transfer list, but Cuadrado will be moved on at some point in the opening part of this little mini-series. Now, I'm going to play one friendly here today, because I know you guys are clamouring desperate for gameplay. And then the plan is to record 2 games per month, simulate the rest to see how far we can get through this series. Like I say, I've got a number of episodes recorded, so I'm going to be throwing them out to you once per day amongst all of the other career mode stuff that is going to be on your way. When we get to the full release, obviously I will have the live commentary and the face cam, etc. I wasn't going to take my my green screen full setup all the way down to the EA offices and have that set up and be spouting really loud commentary whilst obviously everyone else was trying to record as well. That wouldn't have necessarily pleased everybody else. So these little videos from the EA capture event or FIFA 17 capture event will be post commentary, but as was the case with my FIFA 16 content, when we get to full release, my all my content career mode wise will be live commentary. The My Player won't have facecam, but of course the full career mode will have facecam, and there will be plenty of the journey content as well. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to show you or even see for ourselves any the journey content at EA for the capture event, sadly, but I am super hyped to get going with that as soon as we get our hands on early access on the 22nd of September. So the journey content will be coming very shortly as well. But for now, we're going to concentrate on this little Chelsea career mode mini-series, and like I say, some Ultimate Team content and some player faces, etc. Have a look at some of the transfer budgets too, give you a rundown of what the situation is in the variety of top European leagues, so you guys can kind of make your own plans for your own career modes, perhaps pick a team based on the budget that they have for FIFA 17 career mode. You can see here the way the new corners work. I haven't necessarily nailed a specific technique as to be able to put in, you know, create as many chances as I possibly can from corners. I'm still learning the system with regards to free kicks and penalties, especially penalties. I think I've absolutely nailed that. I'm really good at pens now, but when it comes to the corners, etc., I'm still getting used to it, and I'm not necessarily as good as hopefully I will be able to become throughout the course of the FIFA 17 year. This game was the first game that I played all day, so I am a little bit rusty in this one, but don't worry, the quality of football that I play does improve as we move further and further through the series. We go very close there to conceding the opening goal of the game 5 minutes before half-time. Branislav Ivanovic getting back there on the line to hook the ball away, and thankfully saved my bacon. Now, I did fiddle with the tactics at half-time, because I really wasn't finding that I was able to put together the sort of passing, flowing moves that I like to play when I play career mode, or even any sort of FIFA. I try and play the same style of play both offline and offline. But I fiddled with it at half-time, and I subsequently went and made permanent changes in the menus after this game. Made a change at half-time as well, brought on Kurt Zouma here for John Terry, as you can see. JT is fantastic in real life, but even on FIFA, with this gameplay being slightly slower than, you know, like FIFA 14 and FIFA 15, it's very similar pace-wise to FIFA 16, but JT just doesn't quite do it for me, unfortunately, in-game. So I brought Kurt Zouma on, and he'll be probably my starting centre-back alongside Gary Cahill for the duration of this little mini-series. But sadly, we go 1-0 down here. As you can see, Jassi Zardes puts the ball right into the top corner there. It flies off the end of his boot. Nothing Thibaut Courtois could do about that, and we go 1-0 down in this opening friendly. My manager there, as you can see, very disappointed. You saw me create him earlier on. I went for the older guy this time around. I will be choosing a different manager character when we get to the full release and I do my Everton series. It is a shame that there is no game face either for putting onto a manager or just in general for my player, but I think that's because of the whole new engine side of things. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty confident, that with FIFA 18 we'll be able to have our game face back again like we could on the Ignite engine for my player series, and fingers crossed we'll be able to use the game face for perhaps a managerial character as well, which would be absolutely superb. I did improve in the second half, though. As you can see, I've been having chances left, right and centre. Oscar's going to play this off to Diego Costa, and there's so much space here for Willian in behind. He was the one player that I really clicked with right from the off, and that is an exquisite finish across the keeper into the bottom corner. You can see him going up onto the advertising hoardings there and pulling a pose, just lying on top of the hoardings. There are a variety of different celebrations with regards to the advertising hoardings, so when you get your hands on the game, I believe the demo is out later on this afternoon, so when you get your hands on that, try and run at the advertising hoardings when you score a goal and have a look at the variety of different celebrations that are up there. I do a number of them throughout the entirety of this little mini-series, but we equalise late on. Very, very good finish from Willian there to make it 1-1. We take a point from the opening friendly in this, I think it's the American Challenge Cup, this particular pre-season tournament. You can see I kept possession quite well, slightly edged it. They had more chances, but the majority of those came in the first half. Now, like I say, I am looking to make a number of changes in this opening transfer window. However, Cesc Fabregas is not one of the players I'd be willing to let go. Big offer comes in, though, from Bayern Munich of £37 million for Cesc, but obviously being one of my better central midfielders, he's not going anywhere. Previously mentioned, though, that Loic Remy might leave the club, and if I can sell him on, I would very much like to do so. Counter-offering Dortmund's £12 million offer with a £16 million offer, which is £2 million overvaluation rather than £2 million undervaluation, which was Dortmund's initial offer. Simulating the next two group stage friendly games, but I will be playing the, well, spoilers, I get through the group stage, so I will be playing the semi-final game in the next episode tomorrow, so do make sure you subscribe to the channel, like I say, to ensure that you don't miss out on any of the FIFA 17 content that's coming your way. A big offer here from Juventus of £32 million for Cesar Azpilicueta. Obviously, they've bought Dani Alves, or signed Dani Alves, Juventus, from Barcelona on a free as his contract expired at the Spanish club. And they have a big player in Alexandro at left-back, and they obviously have Patrice Evra as well, but they were interested there in Cesar Azpilicueta. Speaking of Alexandro, I'd very much like to bring him into the club. I'm looking at bringing in a right back and or a left back as well, just a wing back in general. I'd like to bring in a centre mid, perhaps a young centre mid. I want to bring in a young goalkeeper as well to try and help meet that criteria that you saw at the beginning of the episode with regards bringing in a couple of younger players under the age of 20. So Lafont, the goalkeeper, is one that I'm looking at with that regard, and with the central midfielder regard, we could get two birds with one stone here. I want a centre mid, and we also need a youngster. Mahmoud Dahoud is 20 years of age, so would meet the criteria of the board expectation and is quite high rated already, so would be able to do a job in the first team. Simulating the third and final friendly game here, or friendly group stage game, sorry, and you see that we get a 2-0 win. Now, interestingly, from the financial screen here, you can see where the money's been going so far in this window. We mentioned that one of the criteria was to raise money from shirt sales. You can see we got 4.62 million there just from Kante making his debut. Plenty of shirt signings or shirt sales made there. We also get a number of shirt sales from our higher rated and better players, Hazard, Willian and Costa, etc. And we have raised a total of about £13 million to this point. Wages, though, very, very expensive. You can see, again, another £4.25 million added to the total there of merchandise season earnings. Still got plenty of money to spend with regards to the transfer budget. And again, confirmation there that we've now managed to get a little way towards the 170 million that they want. And again, confirmation that the longer term goal, we haven't had the bonus money we got given for the pre-season tournament added to that criteria, unfortunately. Positive note, though, the bid for Lafont has been accepted. Loic Remy has gone to Borussia Dortmund for £14.5 million. So we have an extra £12.5 million to add to our budget now, which could be put towards bringing in Alex Sandro. They want £48.5 million for him. He's only valued at 25, though. I offered 25 off the bat. They rejected that. So I am going to go and offer around about 37, I think I offer in the end. No, 32, sorry. So we'll see what they say there. It was £7 million more than I previously offered. That's where I got the 7 from. And we'll see what they say about £32 million. They accepted, however, Toulouse, the £5 million offer for Alban Lafont, and we will offer him the exact contract that he wants, and we'll also look to move on Asmir Begovic and have Lafont as my backup keeper, and I will look to train him over the upcoming weeks. But the first game in tomorrow's episode is going to be against Juventus, the semi-final of the American Challenge Cup. Make sure you drop this video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel too if you haven't to this point to make sure you get all of the future content. But for now, for this 12 PM upload, that is all from me. There'll be at least one more video this afternoon, if not two. So do make sure that you keep your eyes on your sub boxes. Thank you very much for watching. I'm extremely excited to show you all of this FIFA 17 content, and fingers crossed you're excited to watch it as well. But that's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.